Oh, snap.
All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us for another series of Coach's Corner. Today, joining me is Jarrod Nobby.
What's
I
up?
said it right.
Yeah, you did, actually. I don't think anybody on the team's ever had to say my last name, really. So I'm always curious because everybody either butchers it. They're like, how do you say it, actually?
I was actually kind of panicking inside before I said that.
My running joke is put a K in front of it, like doorknob. And then they're like, oh, Nobby, that makes sense. I'm like, yeah, I guess so. But I don't know if it necessarily makes the situation any better.
It does, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it makes more sense. But then I'm like, oh, wow, I just related my father's name to a doorknob.
Well, I'm really excited to have you on here today. The last four
Excited to be here.
episodes were Matt and I, so I'm going to be picking your brain a little bit today on some programming stuff. But before we get into that, I just want to know what a day in the life of Jarrod is like.
Oh, day in the life of Jarrod. Right, it used to be pretty slow when we started quarantine and everything. I think we all could kind of agree with that, but it seems like as it's gone on, it's been busier and busier. Especially, we're taking on a lot of new tasks, starting some new programs. We're kind of rejuvenating the Power Up program that we have, giving a lot of new options for people. So it starts early, right? It starts early, ends late. So I wake up, I start my day with a little bit of activity. What that means is bundling up right now, since it's like 20 degrees every morning, and taking Obi, my dog, on like a 20-30 minute walk while he seems unfazed by the cold. And I'm standing there in my boots, shaking with every step that we take and every bush that he wants to stop at. So I like to do that. And then, honestly, I've been getting a big routine of being excited to come back inside to a hot cup of coffee. And then I like to sit down and kind of ease myself into the day. I'll usually kind of like write my tasks out for the day. That way I have a plan of what's going on. And then, maybe get the mind going, look up some research articles or work on like a certification that I got going on, or maybe just watch some kind of videos based on like sports performance or weightlifting. That's something I really like. That way I can start my day off with like the mindset, right, that I'm going to be kind of getting into. Outside of that, get on the computer, check the emails, make sure everything's going smooth. Make sure I got an idea of what classes we're going to be doing for the day, what the plan is, what the program is going to look like, making sure all the little minute tasks are taken care of so you focus on the bigger ones. And then, working for Exos through most of the day. And then, as we all know, with, running the Olympic weightlifting team at Athletic Lab, usually as the afternoon, evening hits, I kind of dial back from Exos and all that work, make sure that's all tied up. And then I usually go train myself for about 2 hours. And then I'm coaching the weightlifting team for about 3 to 4 hours into the evening. We come home and get some food and then relax, chill out, and then it's to bed, and then starting it all back over again the next day.
Quite a day.
Yeah, I think so, but it's good. It's consistent, right?
I do like that. And I like how you start with your education in the morning. I think that's what I need to start doing, because I get so tired when it gets to the afternoon. And I don't have like that mind for learning anymore. So I think that's really important to prioritize if that's what you want to really focus on.
Yeah, no, for sure. I would agree with that. And I don't know. I just kind of like it because I feel like, sometimes drinking coffee wakes you up, but to me, it doesn't feel like it wakes me up mentally enough. So I like to kind of get the brain stimulated on something. So we're going, especially when you start your day off most days with morning mobility and you're sitting there and trying to stretch and be quiet for 20 minutes right after you just woke up. Sometimes it kind of puts you back into too much of a relaxed mood, although it feels great to start the day off with some mobility. Sometimes I like to get the brain going a little bit too, to kind of complement that.
Yeah, it's definitely my favorite class, by the way. Morning mobility.
It is always nice when you start. You're like, well, I got some morning mobility I had to go through, get on the camera. But that's one thing I like about being able to do the mobility classes, especially virtually. It's like I feel like I've become a lot more in tune with my body and my mobility. And it's, we kind of get paid to do it, right? So it's nice. Can't complain about it.
One thing I've been doing recently, and I know we talked about this before, is just like today I woke up with a really bad neck. So I literally can't turn my neck. Like my whole body goes this way today. Yeah, I'm literally like, I was coaching. I'm like,
yeah. Hopefully nobody says calls for your name behind you and you got to turn around and you got to do the whole full body turn here.
I'm worried about driving later. Like I'm going to be checking behind me.
Yeah, you're going to be checking your side mirrors. Next, you're veering to the next one. Oh crap! I didn't even realize that.
But my point is, like even as coaches, like, we still have stuff that happens. So I
Yeah.
definitely tell all of my classes when that happens, I like, hey, this is literally where I'm at today.
Yeah.
Yeah, so today wasn't much for me, but it did feel good to move. Like, I still always move no matter what. I just make sure I do what I can and don't move through pain.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something that I've learned through working from home.
Yeah.
Um, Definitely.
100%. 100%.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. You've definitely inspired me to start doing my education stuff in the morning, because instead of having too much coffee and getting anxiety,
Yeah.
I'm going to do some learning instead.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be something super hardcore to where you're really, really having to expend a lot of mental energy. Just something that's new or fresh, or maybe even just revisiting a topic that you started looking at or studying pretty soon, or something you've known for a while, just to remind yourself you do know something. So it's kind of reaffirming and nice to do stuff like that every now and then.
What is your newest thing that you're learning about right now?
My newest thing that I'm learning about, um, as nerdy as this sounds, I'm getting a lot back into like kinesiology and all that kind of stuff. So looking more at like kinetic energy, potential energy, elastic energy, and all how those play, and then going through all those awesome, like work and power formulas and how those apply to everything that we do in training and programming. So some high level stuff right now, but it's been pretty exciting. And then really kind of diving back into more sports performance based items and, athletic preparation and all those cool things. And then kind of go, and also some of it is complemented with the basics, right? Especially for the general population people that we work with. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, the big nerdy equations are the kind of thing I'm diving into, some more like the sports science side of things. So
Oh
nerding
man,
out for a little while. Yeah.
good for you.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, I did a little bit this morning. Next thing I know, I had like 2-3 pages of like equations that I wrote down and different movements and exercises that could be applied to them, and then how they kind of like affect the outcome of the equation and the variables and how they kind of like fit into it all. So
Wow.
yeah, yeah. I like to go off on my tangents when I learn things and really kind of like write it all down. I'm a big like I kind of told you and Matt yesterday during a team call, big visual learner. So I can write it down and see it and understand it. Usually I can hold on to it and apply it a lot better throughout the days.
Yeah, I'm the same way with well, I'm a big note taker, and I'll write them a
Yep.
million times. Like with
Yeah,
I went into my rabbit hole with FRC, and
yeah,
I really went tunnel vision with that for a long time, and it's still like pretty deep. But I realized I need to expand and like still look into the sports performance stuff. So I think that's where I'm going to continue with my FRC rabbit hole, but kind of like add another little
yeah.
path in there, because I'm very much interested in like getting more knowledge in sports performance and stuff like that, as I'm working more with athletes now in my evening job.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, I think that's good, right? When you kind of find something that you enjoy and it triggers your curiosity, I think is a good way to put it. Is like you
Yeah.
can learn all these base fundamental principles of different items and stuff, but it's really interesting to see then like the knowledge that you got or that you learned, and then how can you take that and apply it to the things that you do maybe with the general population people, right? And it might not be as extensive, but then also how can you take it and apply it from general population maybe to that more athletic population, and how sometimes some of that stuff is intertwined, right? Because we want to become really, really good at the basics as well.
Hmm.
So that's where those kind of go hand in hand. But you learn something new, and it's always exciting to see then how can you take it and apply it, as long as you, as we all know, apply it in an appropriate manner, right? Don't take off running with it. Make sure we understand what we're doing and how we're doing it. But it's always pretty exciting to learn those new things and then be able to go into your regular life and apply them.